Pineapple guava, strawberries again, but a different variety. And then this is a peach tree. And some back at the beginning of eggplants. Oh, so much to see. So this bed is pretty dead right now. It has some good things in it, but it has some things that are on their way out. The potatoes were in here and they're pretty much gone. I planted another papaya right there yesterday. There's some pigeon peas. That is a nectarine, I think. And then there's a whole bunch of tomatoes and squash and beans. So there's beans, tomatoes, and then the squash is all below. And I'm hoping eventually the squash kind of fan out and take up some of this ground and cover it. I have a couple new squash varieties that I'm going to be adding probably to this bed to help kind of shade out some of this. And this is a part that I tried out. It didn't do so well, but the beans are fine, and that's all that matters is building the soil for me right now. You know, it's not all about production on the first year. So let's see, I have a moringa, 2 of them in fact right there, and then another one right there, and they're actually doing pretty well. They are not dying because I think they're in the full sunlight and they like that much more. There's plums. 2 of them I do like high density planting, so I try to plant close together so that I could eventually even maybe cut one out if I had to. Although I don't want to, but I'd rather have more and need to take some out than have not enough and be waiting for something to produce. So this is just a row of tomatoes and peppers and beans. So the beans are planted just all around, and then it's kind of in a line. I did that just because it was easy for me this year. I would like things to be a little bit more random next year, but hopefully it evens out over time. So these are pear trees. There's a pear, and it's about to rain, so I might have to stop. This is a pear, and that's a pear, and they are planted in the same hole down at the bottom. And there is a pigeon pea tree in the background to give it nitrogen. And then I have a tomato plant in the front here with beans around it. There's peppers, flowers, asparagus, strawberries. I mean, I have a lot. It just needs to get better. This is pretty cool. This bed is taking off. It's one of the older beds that I have. Like these tomatoes here are coming along nicely. And I actually did get to eat one for the first time. And it was great. There's lots of blueberries on this side. This is a tree. It's a 3-in-1 almond tree. And it has a lot of strawberries down at the bottom. Radishes. More strawberries. And then on this side, I have a cassava tree that's coming up right there. And some dill, which is pretty. And some lettuce. And then hopefully this moringa decides to shoot up, because I really want to enjoy moringa. And then again, I just need to fill out some more things. I'm hoping that the sweet potatoes here on the corner will kind of cover most of this and give it a nice living mulch. Here's another blueberry. It does have a couple of berries left, but a lot of them have already ripened and we've eaten them. And we have some different things. Cranberry hibiscus right there. Lots of pigeon peas. Pretty much pigeon peas everywhere in the garden. This is another blueberry. This is an apricot. They're called bush apricots. So bush apricot. They're also planted together. And then my tea. Camellia sinensis. And then a nice little row of some planted vegetables on the edge, trying to use it all. And I think that this is the saddest bed in the front yard, in my opinion, because this was the driest soil. It was like hard, and you couldn't barely dig in it. And there was a tree growing in it right there, and it's been mulched for a long time, but I still get little seedlings, and I have to pull them out because I know a lot of people love crepe myrtles, but I personally do not. They're beautiful, and I like them in other people's yards, but I don't get any benefit out of them. So I have this bed is some small trees. This is an apple tree planted from seed from an Anna apple, which is a southern low chill variety. So I knew that I'm hoping that the seeds will be viable. Even so, if they aren't, I'm not too worried. Here's some more apple trees, 2 of them. I'm not too worried about it. If they don't survive or if they're not good varieties, then my plans would be to graft them and put varieties that I do like on top of them and use the rootstock that is grown from seed, which is going to be healthier. This is a citrus tree, Calamandan or Calamansi tree orange. It needs maybe something. It's not doing that well right here, but I'm just gonna let it go on its own and see what happens, because I need to observe first before reacting and interacting with it. So I'm just gonna keep watching it and see what happens. And then what I'm trying to do is make a living fence. So we have pigeon pea, and pretty much all the way down is pigeon pea. And then eventually they will get phased out into other trees, fruit trees, nut trees. Like for example, on this side, this hedge is mulberry right there. Elderberry. This was a moringa, but it's not doing well here. It's now just mostly hey baby. Now it's mostly just eggplant. But then we have this one, pigeon pea, moringa, roselle hibiscus, and then this is horseradish root and a sad hazelnut tree that oh, by the way, this is a hazelnut tree, but it's not just a normal hazelnut tree. So what's really cool about this hazelnut tree is that it is inoculated with black truffle mushrooms. So these black mushrooms, they come from France. I had to buy the spores, then inoculate the tree, and then plant it. So we won't know for the next 2 to 5 years if it worked, but it's still fun and worth a try. So we'll see if something happens from this tree, and I'll keep you informed about my experiments. All right, guys, so sorry that was so fast. So that's about it. There are so many things here in the front yard that I couldn't tell you. I mean, I gave you a pretty good idea of what's in here so far, but I can't even describe what I planned for it to turn into, because it's going to be crazy